Oops. And we are live, but we don't mean to be live exactly right now because we're still posting because Facebook didn't go live. So give me one more second here. I'm going to give you a little bit more of the intro. Don't worry, we're coming right back. Hold on, because there are no blocks to our goals and our keys to success. Be right there. Okay, and so we are here. Thank you for people for showing up. We are so excited to have you, and I'm bringing on the Rockstar Coach. And here we go. It's Michelle Froge. How are you, sweetheart?
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year! It is a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day.
And 2024, when you do numerology, as I found out from my girlfriend Christy Cabani, is 8, which the karma is getting back everything you have put in to your past. Like you are here to grow and now receive. What do you think about that?
I love that. And it also, I actually posted this somewhere today. It also means abundance. And let me find it real quick because I really loved what it said. Especially, well, I'd actually like to read what 7 was. So 2023, which was 7, is the number 7 in numerology is all about inner work, self-discovery through reflection and spending time inwards. This year wasn't about the results. It was about growth through introspection. And then the number 8.
Pause. Day long. All day long. I'm just validating all day long.
I know. I was like,
on the show, right? Was it all about introspection?
Yeah. That was so my year. And then number 8 is all about abundance, success, karmic lessons, and stepping into your power. This year is more achievements based. It will be a year of taking responsibility for your own actions and putting in the work to create the life that you have been dreaming of. So it's a perfect sounding board to start this discussion from, I believe.
Yay, 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 yay. Yes. And I'm just trying to let people know I'm listening, and I'm trying to let people know that we're live on Facebook. Since I think there's a glitch, perhaps, with the StreamYard system, meaning when I go live with the new Instagram, I'm moving, but Oh, this because I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. Um, there's a well, I saw myself on YouTube and I'm like, I'm moving and nothing's coming out. So so introspection was last year. This year is trying to figure out your technology. So, but anyway,
Yes, right?
well, anyways, I think there's a glitch. And so what happens is when I now try to connect to these other platforms, Facebook's not playing. Now it's on yours, but it won't click on mine.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm just checking mine and we are live on mine. So at
Mhm.
least we're coming up somewhere.
Yeah, but I put YouTube on Facebook in the groups. So
Gotcha.
everybody can play. Everyone can play.
Perfect.
So let's get down to brass tacks. So what's blocking your goals and your keys to success? I want to get cut to the chase on this. It's you. Okay. Just like it's me. Just like it's you, Michelle, because we sabotage ourselves, right? And hilarious. I've already told you, Michelle, but the rest of the world has not heard. I have been facing this all day long. Like showing up for me, like how I went into a funk over things that I don't need to go over a funk on. I'm like, okay, catch yourself, quick pivot, do something different. And as a result of quick catching myself in the act and pivoting and doing something different, I was able to hire a fabulous assistant today, got her completely onboarded and did it in 2.5 hours. The whole thing. Right.
That's how easy it can be.
Mm-hmm. And we have to choose easy. That's the
Absolutely.
other. We have to choose easy.
Yeah.
There's some really weird video here. It's weird. Do I look fuzzy to you?
No.
Okay. I look fuzzy on this side. All right. I'm not going to worry about it. So, what I want to know from others is what is it that you are having blocks with so we can clear for you? These are free readings, free clearings. Go ahead, post your question. Now, if you're on Instagram, because I do have Instagram connected, okay, I'm going to have to go into Instagram because I won't be able to actually see your post here, but you can also go to Podbean. So we have Podbean Live, and you go to Podbean. We have a loud call in, so you press there's like a little button. You'll navigate it. You'll find it. You guys are amazing. And you can call in live and ask your questions. So you have that choice too. Or you can post your questions on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. You post them and I will I'll read it on my phone. Okay. So why don't you tell people what you see as blocks like for the universe?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tap in.
Yeah.
Well, number one thing is fear. I mean, it's I'm going to say this and it's kind of a joke. It doesn't take an intuitive to know that fear has been, something that a lot of us have dealt with over the past, 3 years, could we say? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so, yeah, I'm definitely seeing fear as being one and probably the biggest one. You know, what I see this as being is, it's fear around um like the basics in life. And I don't say this lightly because those that are in other parts of the world, they have already been experiencing these things for centuries. But in the more advanced and wealthy areas of the world, people are fearing their basic needs. Am I going to have a place to live? Am I going to have a roof over my head? Am I going to have food for my family? Am I going to have a job? These things that many have taken for granted in the past, there is a fear around them. There's also fear around health like never before. We see, I'm just going to be frank, we see people dropping dead, literally dropping dead every single day. And people are fearing this for themselves and their families. Another thing that I'm
Well, let me just
sensing.
pause on that for a moment. So I was on TikTok.
Okay.
And we're not going to mention the things that are causing this drop dead thing, right? But this woman, her face is peeling. She has eczema all over her face and down her cancel down her neck. And people are being real now because they're suffering and they're not holding back. And Spirit says to me, they're not holding back because a lot of these people are where you were at in 2013. You had nothing left to lose. That's what I'm hearing. People feel like they have nothing left to lose. And they're going to speak their truth. They're going to walk their walk. They're going to talk their talk because it's do or die at this point. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. Keep going. Sorry.
No.
It just ran through me.
Yeah. So let me look at this. See if there was something else. There was something else around fear. Let me see what it was. Yeah. This is like, I think just like an overall encompassing fear of the future. What will life look like? What will our planet look like? What will my legacy be? You know, what if I don't do X, Y, Z? What if? You know, there just a lot of fears around a lot of different things. And so, you know, I want to say this, as we're talking about what's blocking us and what keys to success are, also, because I also see that as a directive, as next steps, what can we do? And, you know, I'm going to say the simple version, and then I'll go more into it. It's don't give into the fear. And the reason, you know, it sounds simple, but it is not easy sometimes. The thing is that the reason it's not easy is because powers that be, we'll say it that way, want to keep us in fear, because if they keep us in fear, then they keep power. They have power because fear equals power. And if you don't give into the fear, then you're not giving up your power. And so often, the reason why we are giving our power away is because we're fearful. And so if we just say, no, I'm not going to give into that fear. Maybe I can't control what happens next in the world, but I can control how I react. I can control how I take care of myself, my body, my mind, my spirituality. I can control the connection that I have to source, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so we don't have to give into that fear and give our power away.
Yeah. I'm also hearing that people are starting to look at the narrative. They're starting to look at the trends. They're starting to look at things over time.
Right.
Versus a point in time. I mean, that even happened to me. As you know, I'm writing my book. I'm almost done. And one of the things that I noted was the narrative that was used on me to get me to take, 50 medications is the same narrative that they used in 2020 to encourage people to use carrot juice, right? And then I started looking at how did they program us for that, right? So if you go back to the 60s, there was a show, and it was Father Knows Best. Do you remember that show?
I know of it. I never saw it, but I know of it. Yes.
Okay. So Father Knows Best, right? And so that actor was Robert Young, and it only was 6 seasons. However, they played it a lot after, and then they used that same actor for Marcus Welby, MD, to show Father Knows Best, and here's your doctor. Doctor knows best. So the only one who knows best is you and God. And the woman on the show or on TikTok was frustrated with herself because she listened to the media when she knew better. So when you are setting your goals and creating your success patterns, you have to really tap into your higher self, tap into God, source, whatever you want to call it. Like, we have no judgment here, right? Buddha, Yahweh, we're cool. And tap into that and get quiet and hear what they're telling you to do. And use your body as a pendulum or any other method that you have. I have a video on Susan Essentials on how to access source energy. You can look at that and hear what they're telling you to do. And then when you write your mission and your vision, it has to be measurable. It has to be specific. And if it's not specific, I'm going to make that feels a little bit better. If your goals are not specific, then the universe doesn't know how to support you, right? So I'm going to give an example. It was back in 2018. At the beginning of the year, I wrote my vision board. And one of the things I said was, by October 18th, which is my birthday, I want to manifest finding my soulmate and getting married or something better. And by October 16th, I met my husband. Now, we did not get married by that date, but we knew we were we knew we were soulmates. And the or something better was, you want to add the words or something better, because we are always, as humans, limited in our own belief systems. And so the universe can magnify whatever you have and make it better than what you can create. So they didn't give me my soulmate. They gave me my twin flame, which is better.
It's different. I'm going to push back and say it's not better. Because twin flames actually are so much more difficult than soulmates.
So they are.
Yeah. So I would just say they're different, because not everybody is going to have a twin flame relationship in this lifetime. But they may have a soulmate relationship, and that's just a different relationship. And it can be beautiful and wonderful. And so can a twin flame. And it can also be really difficult. But we know that.
So we do. And lovingly, I'm going to tell you, I still think it's better. And yes, in the same light,
your opinion, yes.
Yeah, well, and in the same light, it's also difficult. I won't lie. So a soulmate relationship is easier all day. but Andrew and I grow by leaps and bounds. It's beyond my imagination how we have grown. And so that's where I say better.
Yeah, it
Because
definitely can be better. It's not better with every twin flame relationship because not everyone is at a place where they can go through that and learn and grow and be open to that. You know,
yeah,
sometimes when twin flames meet, it's just and it's like chaos, but they have this passion and they don't know why, and it's this toxicity that's not good for anyone, right? It's completely unhealthy all the way through. But if you are just, you know, like if you are open and able like you are, then yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, and I agree with you 150%. Like,
Yeah.
couldn't disagree. It's like spot on. And you know, if Andrew wasn't willing to work or I wasn't willing to work on my stuff,
Yeah.
yeah, you could just lock us up and throw away the key.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's
We have
difficult.
2 very willing participants.
Very, yes.
And we both grown. So a lot of gratitude to that.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm a little disappointed. We don't have anybody asking questions and getting their
I
readings.
know. I know. Come on, people. We know you
Yeah.
want answers to what your blocks are. I'm just seeing if I can see anything on mine. Sometimes if it's glitchy, it will show on, you know, on Facebook and not on the platform
Right.
here. So I'm just gonna check.
Yeah. So
Oops.
I'm going to go in and do something for the collective, and I'm going to clear.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is that people get into their own way. And they said, instead of just clearing that people are getting in their own way, Spirit is suggesting to create awareness for growth so people can see and visualize how they're getting in their own way.
Great.
They want it to be easier, but not completely easy. They want people to have skin in the game and to work and to because they said that the people that choose to take on this prayer, on this healing, will have greater visual acuity that allows them to see themselves in the eyes of God. Not in the eyes of human, but in the eyes of God. So that they can then do a plot twist. And they're telling me part of what we're bringing to people is for them to pivot and to take on what they do best and to delegate to the partner or the associate what they do best and to let go and release the struggle and the suffering and collaborate with your partner and teammates. Oh, that's what's going through right now. That's for the collective. Oh, okay. A little electric. By the way, you know why it looks so blurry?
Why?
Because my glasses were dirty.
I was like, no, it doesn't look blurry over here. My glasses are clean. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm like, I can see good now.
See, we're always our own block. We're always getting in our own way.
The same. Okay, so let's see. We got Tracy Cantaruti joined on Instagram. So hi, Tracy. I'm figuring out how to do this. So Tracy, what would you like us to and non-toxic living with Jessica joined. Hi Jessica. So what would you guys like? We're going to do free readings and clearings. What is it that you would like to have cleared, or would you like to have a reading about any blockages that you have? Or what you, if you think you know your blockage, we can bring clarity to that. Michelle or I can bring clarity to that. And then we can help, pave that path for you. And by the way, non-toxic living with Jessica, I sent you a message. We absolutely need to get on this show together because we have a common mission and we need to help people live toxic free. Mine's emotional healing through toxic free living. So I'm so grateful that you're here on listening on this show. Thank you for checking it out. So let's Tracy, Tracy, I know for years. So Tracy, go ahead, be brave. Tell us what you got. Okay, no dead air. Michelle, you go. What do you hear?
This is for the collective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see this comparison energy. So again, it's us, right? It's this comparison to what we see others projecting. So social media is a huge proponent of letting people see the good stuff, right? And it highlights almost, and we're encouraged to follow these people who are uber successful and uber wealthy. And there's nothing wrong with that. And go them. Amen for them that they are super successful and uber wealthy. And the thing is that if we are inspired by that, great. If we compare ourselves to that in a negative way and get down on ourselves or start thinking, well, there's no way that I can do that. There's no way I can do this or that. Or we start making excuses why we can't do this or that. Then, that kind of comparison is not healthy. So I see this kind of energy that is a piece of getting in our own way, that helps us not reach our goals or manifest the life that we want because we doubt. So there's comparison and then there's doubt. I'm not seeing as much there of course is some self-worth stuff in there. There almost always is, but I'm seeing more of it just being more of that comparing ourselves to others and doubting that we could ever do what they're doing. And the interesting thing is, Spirit is saying, you don't have to do what they're doing. You're not them. Their path is different than yours. You can do it in a different way. You can do it in your own way. You can do it and you will create success for you in a way that feels good to you and that uses your greatest strengths. Something that, hi, Chris, something that I read today on Facebook in a particular group it's a group that is run by an uber successful woman. And, I never thought about this, and it just really, really changed my perspective on things. This morning, she was telling the group that she had her first $1 million cash year last year in 2023. Now, she made way more than $1 million, but she made $1 million in cash. Okay. So that was not credit card payments, all of that kind of thing.
So in cash.
Oh,
Like
yes.
not credit.
Yes. So it was, yeah. So it was like people just paying her by check or Venmo or Cash App or whatever it is. Okay. So she made $1 million in cash, plus all of the other stuff, multi-millions last year. And that was wonderful. And, yay for her that she did that. That shows us that we can do that too, right? The thing that she said that was just like, wow, for me was that she woke up on January 1st, 2024, and had zero in her business account because she hadn't made any money yet. And she said, it's like that every year. No matter how much I have made the past year or every month, because she makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. She started at zero. And I thought, wow, okay, she's starting at zero, just like me, just like you. So if she can make, just say $1 million in a year, why couldn't I make that? Well, I could. I could if I get rid of the blocks of the beliefs that I have, of the patterns that I have that stop me from doing that. So when you look at those comparisons that we all do, no judgment, think about everybody starting off at the same place. They all had to have their diapers changed when they were a baby. They couldn't feed themselves. They couldn't walk. They didn't make any money, etc., etc., etc. So if they can do it, so can you. So maybe I'm actually seeing some of that comparison, the doubt with the comparison fall off right now because you were brought to awareness of it. And okay, if it's that easy for them to do, well, then I could absolutely make my goal because my goal may not be anywhere close to that. So I can absolutely make that.
Well, mine's only 450.
There you go.
Wait, 1,000 a month.
Yeah, there you go. Easy peasy. Why not?
450,000 a month.
Why not?
Why not? It's been that. I mean, I know that the universe is preparing me to accomplish that task.
Absolutely.
I want to go. May I? Or
Absolutely. I'm done. Yes, thank you.
I want to go back to comparison. So this is the themes of consciousness. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm not doing a good job here, but
we got it. Yeah.
The 3D version, right, are things like pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, hopelessness, guilt, judgment, shame. Well, when you are comparing yourself to others, there's shame. That's the lowest here. That is the lowest you can go on that consciousness scale. Okay. And guilt, you have guilt because you're not good enough, and judgment, self-judgment, that's the second lowest you can be. Okay. So, and then there's despair. So when not when, cancel, if you choose to compare yourself or others, know that's the lowest that you can go on the scale of consciousness. And so we have to choose differently if we want differently. And if we are having self-judgment or judging others or comparing others, the law of attraction says we will get that back in return. So love people where they're at. Love yourself where you're at. And then rise up more the next day. So,
yeah,
I think my eyesight's getting better. Meaning, I'm now getting blurry because I can't see out of the glasses, but I can actually see without the glasses.
Gotcha.
I did some healing.
Yeah, that works.
I'm not going to wear the glasses because I can see better without them.
Good.
I mean, part
Beautiful.
of it was that there were dirty glasses, but I'm actually seeing better without them. That's crazy.
That's wonderful.
Uh-huh. Huh. Okay. So we were talking with non-toxic living with Jessica. She said we would get in our own way of success. So yeah, we do. And she also says, I hear castor oil on the lids help vision. So yes, it does. I have actually been using, well, oh, I'm just going to show people. So I have two elbows. as long as non-toxic living with Jessica's here, I have two elbows. The one on the left, which has like a little bit of redness left right here, has had eczema there for 30 years. Until last week. First thing I did is I put on castor oil and I got rid of like probably, I don't know, most of it, like probably like 75%, 80% of it. And then I took a Life Wave patch and I put it, boom, right on the elbow. And then I used light therapy on top of it and it was just gone. Like, I love God. I love God how he directs me. But castor oil is amazing. I agree with you. You can put castor oil on anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you know, how Gus says from my big fat Greek wedding. You know, he uses Windex for everything. Windex will clear it. But we know Windex is not the solution. We know castor oil is, and but Gus was just more comical, I think, about it. That's so. So let's talk about what we think of most is what we manifest. Shall we do that?
Sure.
Because I think it's really important for people to understand if they think they're not going to get something, the universe will supply that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk to that?
Yeah, sure. You know,
I can't see that.
a lot of times I will hear from clients when I raise a question about them actually wanting what it is they say they want. And they will say, well, of course I want that. Why wouldn't I want that? And I typically follow it up with, well, what would actually getting that or being that or doing that, what would that do for you? What would you have to give up? What would you have to implement? What, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I go through a course of questions. And when it comes down to it, in the end, they always understand, oh, for instance, there was a time when I said that I wanted to have a certain number of clients every week. And what I found out is that I was blocking myself from that because in my, as I like to say, previous life as a real estate broker, I worked pretty much 24/7. I didn't get vacations. I didn't get full days off. You know, you're always on call. Well, I should not say that. I ended up not having to be because I chose not to be. However, that career lends itself to that if you allow it. And I did allow it. And so because I had allowed myself to do that and to be walked on and no boundaries with time, right? I feared somewhere deep inside, because I had already experienced that, I feared that if I allowed myself to be uber successful in this business that I created, then I would not have freedom of time. Mm-hmm. And I did not realize that until I started digging deeper. So the answer to that discussion topic for me is, what is it around manifesting what it is that you say you want to manifest? What might you be doing to block yourself from it? And so, because we might say, Well, I'm focusing on, XYZ. I'm focusing on an amount of money or number of clients or a weight goal or whatever that is. Let's take a weight goal. Okay, what happens when you reach that weight goal? Oh, maybe you don't have the fat to hide behind any longer. Maybe you've been hiding behind that, those extra pounds or that body that doesn't feel like you feel on the inside. And maybe that's been a crutch for you. And giving that up is very scary. So there's all sorts of things that we say we're focusing on. Why isn't the universe bringing it to us? Well, because just like Jodi, you said earlier, you're giving the universe mixed signals. You're saying, I want it. Ooh, but I don't want it. Oh, but I want it. Oh, but I don't want it. So it's like, well, which energy is going to win over? Right. So we got to dig
And are you
deep.
are you being consistent in your message?
Right. Probably not.
So what happens when you're not consistent in your message, Michelle? What happens if you're not consistent in your message?
Well, you either don't get what you want at all, or you get pieces and parts of it that were not how you envisioned it, or you get something completely opposite what you said you wanted out loud, but actually energetically you were saying that's what you wanted. Because we don't manifest things into our existence if the energy is not there for it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So you're talking about the subconscious mind, right?
Yes.
Those are those self-limiting beliefs. And what we secretly are afraid of. That's going back to what you originally said at the beginning of the show. What are we secretly afraid of that's stopping us or blocking us from achieving what we want to achieve?
Yeah.
You know, how that showed up for me is I've been working on my health for the entire flipping year. Right?
Yeah.
I think it's funny. I mean, in hindsight, it's really funny. It wasn't funny at the time. In the year, so I'm supposed to do this. In the year, I had cancer, right? Hodgkin's lymphoma in January, February. I had 4 brain tumors. I had 2 tumors in my feet. I had failing kidneys, failing liver. I had clogged spleen. I don't know what else I had. I mean, those were the major ones. Right? Oh, a broken wrist, right?
I was going to say, broke a wrist.
Yeah, broke my wrist. And one of the things that I recognized today, or even last night before I went to bed, because I'm sitting so much because I'm publishing my book. I'm almost done. And I find myself sitting a little bit more than normal, right? It's okay. It's temporary. And so I got up last night. I'm like, wow, those T-bands and those hips are not happy. I mean, really not happy. And so I got into bed and I said, God, can you just kind of fix that? So I woke up this morning. It was fine. Completely fine. Almost not walking when I got up last night to go to bed, and completely fine this morning. So then a few hours ago, I said, well, I think I'm asking the wrong questions. And so now we're going to talk about how you phrase what you ask for. You're going to get what you ask for. So go big or go home. So I changed my request. I said I would like to have optimal health for every part of my body, both physical, spiritual, mental, everything. And I don't think I can drive without my glasses right now, but I can certainly do this computer without my glasses, which is the first time ever in my entire life, and I'm 60. And that happened in the last 3 hours. So what I want to say is go big, go home. Go big or go home. Stop blocking yourself. And if you're asking for something, let the universe run with it. Let them take you where you need to go, because we are limited. I'm sorry. We're humans right now. As long as you're in this, and if you're wearing a body bag, we're humans. And I'm wearing a body bag. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and there's no limitations. Many people that you can read stories about them all day long about overcoming adversity, or, not being a likely person to be successful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And yet they did it. They overcame, illness, disease. They became uber wealthy. They became uber successful. They, they achieved certain goals, either physically or, business wise, or whatever it is. Children who grew up in the projects. I've read many stories about children who've grown up in the projects who, a lot of times when you grow up in situations like that, where you have very little money, you have very little, material possessions, etc. And even, a lot of times the education is not optimal, I've read many stories that, children just become determined. I want X. I want to go to college. Nobody in my family has gone to college, but I want to get out of this cycle that I see my family in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to be that person. And yeah, they believed they could, and so they did. And
that's my father's story, Michelle. Did you know that?
You know what? Now that you say that, I do. Yeah, I didn't recall that at the time I was saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, he grew up on the south side of Chicago, no money. Father was gone because he was sick, not because he wanted to go, but because he had tuberculosis. And at the time, they didn't know that there was a solution. And so he started cleaning fish at the dock when he was like 4 or 5 years old, whatever, he was young, right? Too young to be working, but he wanted to eat, and he wanted to make sure his mom had food and that his brothers had food. And so they did what they had to do. So he was, I'm just going to, let's say it, he became a multimillionaire by the time he was 20 or 21. He built the largest horse complex in the world. He had a string of ice cream stores in Mexico, and he was a great developer for Illinois and a lot of other places. And the thing is, and those are all like little feathers in the cap, right? Great. Here's the real message. He had nothing, so everything and anything was better than what he had, right? So he was unstoppable. And he saw other people, and he just knew. He just kept his eye on the ball. He just kept on going, right? And one of the things that I learned from him was to do that. And when I was working in banking for a long time, and this is back like in 2007 or 2008, around the crash. Yeah, around the crash, right? So everyone's crashing, and I have more. I've done more, sales, investment sales for the bank than anybody else in my region. And they come to me and they said, well, how did you do that? I go, do what? I had no idea that I was number one. No clue. And the reason I had no clue is because I was just focusing on the one thing, the customer that was sitting in my chair in front of me at that moment in time. And that is it. And that's what I do today too. I just focus on the one thing that I can control, the one thing I can help, the one thing I can serve. And I don't compare myself to other people. And so when I become number one at whatever it is that I'm doing, which has been a repeated behavior for me, it's not because I'm trying to compete against anybody. I'm just trying to serve. And God blesses us when we just do his work. That's how I think about it. So that's a Jodiism. So Chris would like a reading.
Wonderful.
And the Facebook user says they believed they could, and so they did. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you go first for Chris.
Okay.
And then I'll catch up on the tail end. How about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And I got to clear because I know Chris too well. So I'm just gonna...
I know, I am too. So I'm getting like lack of direction, Chris. I'm getting like there's a lot of things that, well, first of all, there's a lot of things that you're good at, and there's a lot of things that you kind of are, I don't know if it's dabbling in, but your energy is going different places. And so what I'm getting from that is, you know, focus in maybe on, instead of 4 or 5 things, 1 or 2 things, because it's not that we have to be, you know, a one trick pony, not at all. But it's about developing something to the point that it kind of runs itself, and then moving on to the next, or developing 2 things at the same time where, you know, you can push one while the other one is, you know, starting up, and you're getting things going, and keep pushing on the first one, get that going, and then, you know, continue on the second one. Because I feel like there's a few things that you could potentially do if you want, but it's kind of like that, oh, which way should I go feeling. And so it's like you're not really accomplishing anything. I say anything. You are accomplishing things, but you're not where you want to be because your energy has not been focused specifically. So, yeah, that's the first thing I'm seeing. Go ahead, Jodi.
Okay. Animals are coming to me. The owl came to me. And then I was called to get this deck for her. Because I'm a little blocked with Chris. Because I love her so much. And I have information. I want to make sure I'm a clear channel for her. But what I did hear before I grabbed this deck was Chris's love for people and her overwillingness to give, where she needs to really start to charge. Like she's giving before, like she's so willing to give that she needs to shift the mindset about her willingness to receive.
I'm also hearing ability to receive, like there's, you know, that worthiness piece again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got the card, and this makes sense. Hold on. And actually, I think this card supports what you were saying. Give me a minute. It's a star ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. But I want to, and I know what they're saying, but I want to hear what they have to say too. Here it was. I just missed it. Hold on. So, okay. Yeah, and I got that. And this is what Michelle's saying too. So it's heed the messages coming directly from your soul. So you are so intuitive, and you hear really well. So it's no confusion about which way you're supposed to go. And so what they're saying is that if you really listen and trust, and it may not look like there's money attached to it, it may seem, what I'm hearing is you think there's what you really in your heart of hearts want to do feels like pie in the sky to you. And so you don't have a belief that it can actually result in the money that you want. And they said, you have other opportunities. They said, you may need to disappoint those people. It's okay. If they love you, they're going to stick around anyway, meaning these other financial opportunities. Okay. So they're saying, whatever that is, that thing that you love, that you think is pie in the sky, is actually the heartbeat of the universe for you. Now, I'm going to read it. The star ancestors is a term for extraterrestrial light beings who are dedicated to the healings and the growth of the world. These incredible beings are divine embodiments of love who bring wisdom from the higher realms. I'm just going to skip this because I know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Chris, I'm going back to where you were drawing and you were creating crystal jewelry and things like that. I've rarely seen such amazing work. That's, I thought, in my, like, that's what they just showed me. That's your heartbeat. Like, that's what lights you up, I thought. It will bring you where you need to go and lead you to larger cash flow. I'm hearing anything where you are creating and bringing, like, kind of like the alchemist. It could be blending those crystals with the oils. It could be bringing the artwork with the oils, actually anointing the artwork with specific oils. They're saying you're an alchemist, and so bring these things together to lift humanity. She says, this is true. Healing makes my soul sing. My highest dream is to heal everyone who's ready, regardless of money. But you got to start taking money.
Yeah, and I kept hearing it's something that you don't feel like you've ever seen done before. So it's a little bit difficult in the 3D to think that it's possible because you don't have anyone like to follow, right? Like you don't have anyone to emulate. But that's the beautiful thing. When you solve a problem or create a service for something that people didn't even know they needed or wanted, and you're the only one that provides that, wow, how valuable in the 3D world is that? People will pay big time for things that they can't get anywhere else. You see, I'm just reminded of, the first time you see a product and you think, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. How cool is that? Gosh, why didn't I think of that kind of thing, right? And then not too much longer after you see that first one, you see all these other ones kind of, mimicking that first one. And the first one is the one that makes all the money because they were the original. And you're right, it's not about the money, but it is about the money.
Yeah, it is. It's not. It's the heartbeat that generates the cash.
And you need money to live just like we need money to live. And so there is nothing unspiritual. And you know this, you already know this. There's nothing unspiritual about it. And the people that need it will find a way. They will.
Okay. Let me know when I can add.
Go for it.
Okay. So what I just heard is that, so I'm just going to say, so Chris is also an affiliate where she can sell my functional food program or water filters. What I heard, Chris, because I said, well, is it for her highest good to sell these programs? The answer is yes, because you can then do the coaching and the healing. But what they're saying is, it's like what I'm offering for you is a stepping stone so that you can buy the product that you need to do what you really want to do. And so you don't have to worry about, look, you're never going to offend me. Like, you need to live and do and breathe your own heart and your own life. And so if you end up selling a few coaching programs and coach a few people that get you to where you need to go, to me, that's awesome. Right. And I'm hearing that you're worried about disappointing others. Well, if they leave you because you're living your life on purpose and with intention based on your needs, not theirs, then they weren't your friend. And I'm never going to tell you no or leave you because you want to live your life on your own terms. I want you to. if you're able to sell some of these programs and make some money that allows you to do that, awesome. If you find another way that allows you to do that, awesome too. They want you to look at things as temporary stepping blocks to get you to go. Does that resonate? God, I don't know how to wear my glasses. So, Chris, let us know if that resonates with you. And I think we're at an hour. We're an hour, and wow, it's this show goes fast, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. An hour is really fast.
Yeah, she says makes sense. Well, it's 3:59, and I did start the show a little bit early because I knew I was going to have opportunities to up my game on technology. So, I want to thank everybody for coming. And we have, several new followers today. Thank you to Michelle. We're, I love having you. Where's your bird? She's in jail.
Uh-oh, the birdies are in jail.
So it's so funny. So, she pooped on my head.
Oh, goodness. Like that's never happened before.
I know, but I just I'm like, I've got things to do today, Fagala. And, like, and
You
you
have this right
my hair is like not okay right now. Okay. Like, does it stop me from loving her? No. Does it stop her being on the show?
Yes. No naughty birds on the show.
I just, what are you gonna do? That's so funny. And thank you. Fagala sends her love. So does Tinkerbell. And actually, I think you guys should go check out my YouTube channel because the isn't that good luck? Yes, Chris, it is good luck until you have to go wash your hair because you got poop in your hair. You're so funny. You guys are so funny. We'll have her on the show next time. So I want to talk about next week's show, or not next week. First of all, I wanted to say I'm not here next week.
Mm.
My husband and I are taking our honeymoon. Yeah.
Woohoo!
So we're going on a toxic-free cruise, believe it or not.
Awesome.
Clean water. They're using reverse osmosis water, which I'm not a fan of reverse osmosis, but I'll take it, for the cruise all day, and then of course clean food. But then the following week on the 16th, I have Marcus Mitchell. He is a recovering addict. And they say recovering. I say recovered. That's just my, I have a different language. And we're going to have him on to share how he, chose to drop shit that he didn't need and how he continues to pave his own path, living toxic free, and, what that looks like for him. And like he has setbacks. We all have setbacks. I have setbacks every freaking day. The bird pooped on my head, right? No, seriously. Oh, what's this? It says Elvis, before you go, my name is Al. I would like a 1 minute clearing or reading. Do you have time, Michelle? I know you got
I do.
Okay. Yeah. So the answer is yes, Elvis. So Michelle, why don't you go first and I'll follow through.
Well, I get that you're playing small, Alvis. Al. Yeah, I'm getting that you're playing small. I'm going to dive into that a little bit deeper, but playing small in some arena, it does feel like there's a belief around what it is that you can do. And this feels like it comes from family. It's almost as if, in a weird sort of way, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, you are comparing yourself to others in your family and almost thinking, well, if I do better than, let's just say, my dad or whomever, you are feeling this pressure from, because I'm feeling this like familial pressure or societal pressure of some sort. But it really feels like family, where like if I do better than they did, they're going to think this about me, or I'm going to have to take care of them, or whatever it is. Like you're feeling as though like you almost know you're holding yourself back, and you are not, like, you could be doing so much more, but this pressure, this familial pressure has been put on you, and you're allowing it, right? Because really in the end, is that true? Will they, disown you, or will you have to take care of them? Well, maybe, but maybe not. And are you only hurting yourself by not doing it? Yes. So I'm really getting that feeling of, you know what? Just go for it. If you have a concern, talk to that person and see if you can communicate your concerns prior to going for it. And if you can't, or you don't feel comfortable, then just go for it, and keep your boundaries, because you are in control and you're holding yourself back. And it's like, I feel like when you let that go, when you lift that veil and let yourself do what you know you're capable of doing, the floodgates are going to open. So that's what I got.
Oh yeah. And as Michelle was doing that, I did the all clear protocol on it, meaning I cleared that energy and frequency. And even though I cleared the frequency, meaning it's no longer in your field for any timeline, any dimension, in all lifetimes, I've taken it out, and for your entire lineage. That doesn't mean you don't have to change your behavior. So you have to still look at your behaviors, and then I'm going to give you awareness to catch yourself and insert that and anchor it, please. So that you can choose differently. And is there anything else that's blocking Al from moving forward? Yeah. So I'm going to do an all clear on that self-limiting belief system. And actually, I'm going to clear between you and the person who they're kind of powering over you, that family member that Michelle mentioned. So that person's powering over you energetically. I'm not sure if they're actually saying anything, but it's the energy around it. So I'll clear protocol. Can you clear the energy between Al and that person? So create the space for Al to show up how Al wants to show up, not based upon someone else's expectation, but based out of nothing at all, what he wants to create for himself. Oh. Okay. Is that clear? That did. It's gonna clear overnight, but it's clearing. Is there any? Okay. Do you feel a little lighter, Al? Hopefully. And is there any other message for Al from his guides? We're going to download to you. They said they want to download it to the I Can Do It template. So download. You're welcome, Al. Yeah, so big cosmic hug from Chris. What we're doing, Al, is I'm downloading to you the cosmic template of I can do this. And so every time you have a self-limiting belief, it's automatically going to flip to I can do this. And you'll find a way. Because you got this. All right. I think that's a perfect way to complete this session. And I want to thank people, right, for showing up. So be interesting to see if I get my eyesight back. I can see close. I can't see far, but I can see close.
Awesome.
Oh, and Al says, thank you. Great. So I'm not displaying stuff across the screen anymore because when I create these clips, it's too much to navigate. So I just want to say thank you. So, and you ladies are the best. We think you're the best. So it's back at you. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
So not next week, the week after, the 16th. All right. So we're ending the show here. And let me just do that. And ending the show here. All right.
Bye, everyone.